The administration of US President Donald Trump has been widely criticized at home and abroad for its failing policy against West Asia power Iran. Trump's maximum pressure campaign, which was launched after he pulled America out of the Iran nuclear deal, has come to nothing tangible. It has instead led to high-profile failures which culminated in a humiliating defeat at the United Nations last week when the US failed to extend an international arms embargo against Iran. The United States seems increasingly isolated over Iran. Even close US allies like Britain and France are refusing to do as America tells them to. That's probably because Trump has stuck to a dangerous unilateral approach against the Islamic Republic that has brought the region to the brink of military conflict. But the US will apparently stop at nothing to force its will on others. It is unwilling to learn a lesson, even from a diplomatic fiasco it suffered just days ago. The US has now set the stage for another showdown. America's top diplomat has formally initiated a process to reinstate UN sanctions against Iran. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says the U.S. has the right to trigger sanctions snapback under UN Resolution 2231 that endorsed the Iran nuclear deal. But other permanent members of the UN Security Council and Iran have questioned the legality of the U.S. demand, as America is no longer a participant in the Iran nuclear deal.
There's absolutely no legality to this demand by the United States, which ceases to be a participant in the JCPOA. By pulling out of the agreement in May of 2018, Donald Trump forfeited any rights or prerogatives that the United States would have.
Iran's Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif says Washington has no right to trigger the snapback mechanism and that the Council must resist the U.S. demand. Iran's ambassador to the United Nations, Majid Takht Ravanchi, says Tehran is confident that the UN Security Council will oppose the unilateral US bid. Russia's ambassador to the UN, Vasily Nebenzia, says Moscow believes that the US does not have the legal right or the reason to initiate the snapback mechanism. He pledged that the Russian Federation will challenge the US bid. China has said it agrees with the Russian position on the dispute. And Europeans have declared that they will not get on board with America's plan. The US seems to be fighting a lost battle and heading for another embarrassing defeat. Why is the US not changing course?
In light of the humiliating defeat of the United States last week regarding the maintenance of the arms embargo, my only conclusion can be that the United States is purposefully trying to create an existential crisis in the Security Council to either weaken the institution to the extent that it can, or to appeal to Donald Trump's dwindling base.
The Trump administration's push to reimpose international sanctions against Iran comes a week after the Council rejected its bid to indefinitely extend an arms embargo on Iran. That ban has been in place for over a decade and is due to expire in October. America is desperately struggling to prevent that from happening. Despite the ban and other Western sanctions, Iran has managed to develop an advanced defense industry. Today, Iran domestically manufactures advanced weapons, including different types of ballistic and cruise missiles. As the US prepared to demand all UN sanctions be reimposed on the country, Iran unveiled new domestically manufactured ballistic and cruise missile systems on the National Defense Industry Day. The two new projectiles are named after top Iranian General Qasem Soleimani and Iraqi commander Abu Mahdi al-Muhandis, assassinated in a US airstrike in Iraq in January. Iran has made substantial progress in manufacturing weapons and military hardware, but it insists that lifting of the UN arms embargo must be fulfilled as promised by signatories to the Iran nuclear deal.